Hi guys, and welcome to Polyphonic Tarot. I am Prince of Cups 518, and we're here today to do another edition of the Daily Trump. So I've got my Tarot of the Stars Eternal, the Libra T. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck that I like. It is a deck that is based on the Crowley Taught deck that you guys know I love above all others. This is one of the very few clone decks of that style. Most decks made these days obviously are Rider-Waite inspired or are original concoctions of new ideas, but very few decks attempt to replicate the Crowley Taught, which is interesting, which may say something about either the fact that it's good enough as it is already and doesn't need a whole lot of changing, or people are intimidated by it. Either one. But anywho, that's what I'm going to be using today. I've got my major arcana already pulled out, and so let's see what we've got. Okay. So our major arcanum of today is the Moon, which is very opposite to what we've been receiving. Lately we've been dealing with very masculine cards in the Daily Trump. We've been doing things like the Magician, the Devil, and Lust. These are very, for the most part, very masculine cards, particularly the Devil and the Magician. This card tells us that today might be a day for dreaming about things. This could be a day in which we don't really feel like we know exactly what we're doing. Maybe this has something to do with Mercury retrograde, but maybe it doesn't. It just has a feeling of usually being lost to some degree. I usually interpret the Moon as being a card of feeling like you're not quite sure what's going on. You're not quite sure where you're going today. You're not quite sure what exactly is true and what isn't. There is a lot of mystery surrounding this card, and a mystery that isn't necessarily a warm, fuzzy kind of mystery like the Priestess sort of represents. The Moon is much more of a sense of foreboding and that type of mystery and that type of allure. It is a little more dangerous, I suppose. There's more fear in the Moon because we're not sure what's really real. So that's the energy we're working with today. Either a day of daydreaming to some extent, of wishing for things, but in general it's sort of this feeling of where are we and where are we going. So let's see what we have, what the Moon wants to say about itself today. Okay, so now we're going to pick 3 cards for the Moon to describe itself to us as best as possible. Or at least how the Moon is going to affect us today, whether for good or bad. And it looks like today it's fairly neutral, I want to say. On the bottom of our deck we have the Two of Swords, which is, very peaceful, very benign. It's neither good nor bad, and it is the Moon in Libra. Of course, the actual card, the Moon, is not the Moon. It is actually the sign of Pisces, but it does still, it's hard to say that a card called the Moon does not have a lunar influence, so I can't really get away with saying that. In my opinion, I still associate the Moon as having a lunar connotation. Mind you, it is not a real lunar connotation, which is, half of the mystery and weirdness surrounding this card. But for me, I still see it as having a lunar aspect to it. So it does resonate for me with this bottom card. Fairly strongly, not perfectly, but fairly strongly. They somewhat get along. And other than that, we have this idea of real happiness today coming from the Six of Cups. So maybe the Moon is telling us that this is more about dreamy happiness. This is about fantasies being realized, hopes and dreams uh, being experienced in one way or another. It doesn't necessarily mean that they may come true, though we do have some symbols for that happening. It seems to me that we're seeing an energy of manifestation here in the form of the Magus and the Seven of Discs, telling us that through hard work, our creative impulse is going to be able, to some extent, make happen these desires that we've been experiencing, that we haven't necessarily been able to put a name or label to. It seems to me that there's something that we've been feeling that we really need to have happen for us, and we haven't really been sure about it. We haven't really been sure how to define it, how to really go about it. And it looks like over time we've managed to be able to make this slowly come about for ourselves through whatever abilities we have been given naturally. That's sort of what I'm getting from this today. This has the potential to be sort of lucrative. So the moon, I think, is trying to tell us that the moon is not always so bad, that the moon can actually be sort of productive. You know, the moon can, by bringing us into better contact with our deeper selves, can allow us to definitely come up with some big ideas and some creative opportunities for ourselves. You know, the moon is sort of related to the star in that, you know, the star is all about openness of possibility and limitless possibility, and the moon is in some ways the negative reaction to that infinite possibility. You know, with that infinite possibility comes infinite number of paths and choices, all of which can be a little scary sometimes because we don't know necessarily how one choice or another is going to play out in our lives. And I think it's telling us that in life, you know, we have to trust that when one of these things that come to us from our subconscious or from a deeper, more emotional and intuitive part of ourselves, if it is really something that gives us pure satisfaction and pure pleasure in the way that the Six of Cups does represent, you know, then we really should devote ourselves to those goals and use our gifts wisely to make them happen for ourselves. You know, and by doing that, we manifest those things that may be darker aspects of our being. We manifest them in a way that is more beneficial to ourselves and others, and it is more beneficial. It's a better way of manifesting that energy than by just letting it be. You know, if you let an energy eat away at you inside and choose not to try to manifest it in some way or another, inevitably this is going to corrupt you in some fashion. You know, the best thing to do is to try to put that energy out there in the world in as healthy a way as possible in order to express yourself fully, to express your creative potential fully, you know, to wrestle with those darknesses and those demons, because they are equally as valid as the part of you that is conscious and full of light and full of goodness. You know, it's important for us to deal with those issues in life and to bring them into better harmony and balance, to try to order them a little bit better and harmonize them. So this is a day for that. This is a day for wrestling with those energies, for dealing with them, for thinking of ways we can use them practically in a way that will give us satisfaction and also will make us productive beings following our unique paths. So that's about all we've got today for the Daily Trump. I hope you found this helpful. I hope that this added to your day in any way. And don't forget to don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter at PrinceofCups518, and check out my new website, www.polyphonictarot.com, to book a reading. My summer sale is still going on for the rest of the week until the 16th of June. Make sure you get on that if you haven't already. 2 readings for a great price. Can't beat it, okay? So hopefully see you guys around, and I will talk to you tomorrow with my next video.